Hi folks, welcome back to the channel. You know, when I first started doing product reviews a couple of years ago, I was working with a little hobby diode laser. Back then, if someone had told me that one day I'd have an industrial dual laser cutting system in my own workshop, I probably would have laughed at them. But honestly, this is exactly the kind of machine I had in mind when I first started. As a builder and someone who's constantly designing custom parts, I've spent countless hours over the years cutting steel with angle grinders, saws, and drills. It gets the job done, but it's slow, messy, and every part requires a lot of finishing before it's actually usable. I've always looked at industrial fiber lasers and thought, one day. Because machines like this don't just save time, they completely change what's possible. Instead of spending hours laying out parts, cutting them by hand, grinding edges, correcting mistakes, and trying to keep everything consistent, you draw the part on a computer, load a sheet of material, set the parameters, press start, and minutes later you've got production quality components ready to use. For someone like me who builds custom electric vehicles, a machine like this has the potential to completely transform the way I work. And that's exactly why today's video is such a big deal. This is the GWeike MCore, which was generously provided by GWeike for review. It's a compact industrial dual laser manufacturing system that combines a 400-watt fiber laser for metal cutting with an 80-watt CO2 laser for non-metal materials, giving it the ability to process an enormous range of materials in a single machine. The fiber laser can cut carbon steel, stainless steel, aluminum, brass, copper, titanium, and other metals with the kind of speed and precision you'd normally expect from equipment found in a commercial fabrication shop. At the same time, the 80-watt CO2 laser opens the door to materials like wood, acrylic, leather, rubber, cardboard, paper, fabric, and many plastics. The machine is fully enclosed in a Class 1 safety enclosure and features an industrial servo-driven motion system, linear rails, automatic focusing, a built-in material positioning camera, support for compressed air, oxygen, and nitrogen assist gas, and software tools designed to take a project from CAD model to finished part as efficiently as possible. The work area measures 711 by 411 millimeters, or roughly 28 by 16 inches, which is large enough to handle everything from suspension brackets to battery enclosures, while still fitting comfortably inside a workshop that could never accommodate a traditional industrial laser system. For metal fabrication, the machine can operate using compressed air, oxygen, or nitrogen depending on the material and finish requirements. GWeike rates the fiber laser for cutting carbon steel up to 5 millimeters thick, while the CO2 laser is capable of cutting materials like acrylic up to 20 millimeters thick. GWeike also claims cutting speeds of up to 1200 millimeters per second depending on the operation being performed. Optional accessories such as rotary attachments for cylindrical objects and conveyor systems for processing longer materials further expand the machine's capabilities. In short, the MCore is designed to bridge the gap between hobby-level equipment and full-scale industrial manufacturing. And for me personally, that's where things start to get really exciting, because this machine isn't just going to help me make better parts, it's going to fundamentally change the way I work. For years, I've been designing projects around the limitations of the tools that are available to me. Every motor mount, enclosure, turbine rotor, and chassis component started with a pencil, a tape measure, an angle grinder, and a lot of time. One of the most common questions I've been asked over the years is whether I'll ever make some of these designs commercially available. I've always had ideas, but manufacturing those ideas efficiently was the missing piece. Well, that piece may finally have arrived. I can't say too much yet, but let's just say some pretty big changes are coming. But before we get ahead of ourselves, let's see what this machine can actually do. I wish I could show you the setup process beyond unboxing and connecting the hoses and cables, but with this being an industrial machine, GWeike actually flew one of their technicians, Liu, all the way from China to spend a couple of days getting everything dialed in, which was a huge help that allowed me to focus mainly on learning the machine and putting it through its paces. With that said, I'll start with a quick rundown of the M-Laser NextCut software that was provided with the machine. I've never used this software before, but it's similar to other software like EasyCAD and Lightburn in terms of its features. Software and device settings are available in the top menu, where you can also select between using the fiber or CO2 lasers. The left side panel has all of the drawing and editing tools, and on the right side panel you can separate different cutting and engraving processes into layers and control the machine through the manual motion controls. The first thing that I did was home the laser head to move it out of the way so I could load a sheet of 2.7mm carbon steel onto the workbed. Then I closed the door and clicked the camera button under the Start tab to turn the camera on and overlay what it captures onto the canvas in the software. This makes material positioning so much easier than the conventional framing method, which is also available in the right side panel. Next, I used the Circle tool under the Draw tab to draw a circle, then I used the Resize tool under the Common tab to resize it to 30mm square and moved it to the front left corner of the sheet where I want to cut it from. Using the motion controls, I jogged the laser head to that region and then selected layer 1 on the side panel to open the layer settings and import the laser parameters for 2.7mm carbon steel. GWeike provided presets for the various thicknesses of carbon steel and stainless steel sheet samples that came with the machine for testing. They also provided cut samples from their testing at the factory for further reference. Next, I opened the System Analysis tab and clicked the FTC button, and then the Head Calibration button to start the Z-axis calibration. This determines the distance between the material surface and the laser head using a capacitive sensor so it can adjust the focus distance accordingly for cutting. But the focus does need to be further dialed in manually at the lens by adjusting the dial on the laser head until the arrow points at the focus number indicated in the preset cut parameters for a given material. After the Z-axis was calibrated, I opened the Common tab and clicked the Lead Line button to add a lead line to the circle. This will be the start point for cutting, so the laser penetrates in the waste piece and then leads into the actual cut line so it doesn't ruin the edge, as shown by clicking the Simulation button in the right side panel. Next, I made sure the right cutting nozzle was installed. GWeike sent different nozzle sizes and styles for different materials. I just had to match the numbers stamped on the sides with the numbers in the material presets. With everything ready, I turned on the O2, set the regulator to roughly 90 psi, turned the exhaust fan on, and then I clicked the shutter button to arm the laser and then start cutting. That was pretty quick, and there isn't a speck of dross on it anywhere. The kerf is narrow and the edges are straight and clean. This machine is dialed in. GWeike also provided some test files to work with, so I refreshed the camera and imported something a bit more complicated but still relatively simple, and cut it from the same sheet using the same settings. I think this result speaks for itself. Next, I wanted to try something more complicated, so I imported a DXF file of my channel logo to cut from the same material with the same settings, then scaled it up, set the lead lines for each cut, and clicked the simulation button to make sure everything was set properly before starting the job. These sharp points did overheat a little because the laser has to stop and change direction there, but that can be avoided with some tweaking in the parameters or by simply rounding the points off a little so the laser doesn't have to completely stop to change direction. Overall, this turned out pretty good. I'm impressed and really excited to put this to work on a real project. But first I wanted to check a few more things out, like its max cutting capacity for carbon steel. They provided a sample sheet that's labeled as 5 mm thick, but it actually measures 5.7 mm. It was the closest that I had to the machine's rated 5 mm cutting capacity, so I loaded it onto the workbed, drew a square in the software, and imported the cutting parameters for 5 mm carbon steel. This cut obviously didn't work. The speed was set at 0.8 mm per minute, and the frequency was 150 Hz. So I lowered the speed to 0.5 mm per minute and the frequency to 125 Hz to focus more heat into the steel. That cut seemed to work, but for curiosity I lowered the speed again to 0.3 mm per minute and cut one more time. Both the second and third attempts cut through with no problem, and the edges are surprisingly straight and clean. There is a bit of dross buildup on the bottom side, but nothing that can't be easily cleaned off by hand. There also doesn't seem to be much difference in quality between the last two cuts, so I saved the second faster set of parameters to use later. I'm really satisfied with how it cuts steel. Unfortunately, I don't have any nitrogen on hand to test other materials at the moment, but that'll be shown in an upcoming video when I make the enclosure for my electric dirt bike battery. Happy with how the fiber laser is working, I moved on to trying the CO2 laser. I've been working almost exclusively with metal over the past couple of years, so I don't have much wood or plastic sheets to test with, only the 3mm samples that GWeike provided. So I loaded a sheet of 3mm birch plywood, then switched to the CO2 laser in the software, and positioned my logo over the material. Then I imported the 3mm plywood cut parameters before prepping the laser head. GWeike provides these caps to fit over the nozzles of either laser that isn't being used to prevent sparks and debris from damaging the lenses. After changing the caps, I loosened the thumb screws for the CO2 nozzle to lower it against the focus ruler to set the focus. Unlike with the fiber laser, this focus adjustment is completely manual. This turned out as good as I could have hoped. Notice there isn't a bit of soot on these cuts. They're a clean tan color with no oily residue. There is a very little bit of surface burn, but that's typical and easy to manage with masking or fine sandpaper. Next, I cut the same logo from a piece of 3mm acrylic using the acrylic preset parameters. Again, this turned out great with no issues. I wish I had thicker acrylic to test, but we'll have to give it a try in another video. Finally, I wanted to try engraving, so I imported a simple logo DXF file to engrave in one layer and drew an outline to cut around it in another layer. I then selected the logo only and clicked the linear fill option under the Draw tab to open the fill settings window. Here I made sure the interval spacing was set to 0.1 mm and that the auto-scanning trace option was enabled with a 40 mm overscan. This creates the fill pattern that the laser will use to engrave the logo, but it also forces the laser head to scan past the engraving area by 40 mm on both sides, so that it's not stopping and reversing direction while it's still firing, which prevents it from burning too deep at the edges like we saw earlier when the fiber laser reversed direction on those points in the logo and overheated them. I didn't receive any engraving parameters, so I started with 15 mm per minute for speed, 12% for power, and 5000 Hz for frequency for the engraving, and I used the preset cut parameters for 3 mm acrylic for the outline. Again, masking would keep the surfaces clean during the engraving process, but these turned out pretty good regardless, so I repeated the process for birch plywood using the same engraving settings and the 3 mm birch preset cut parameters and got the same results. As I mentioned earlier, we'll be using this again in the very near future to make a battery enclosure and get a head start on the next project, so that will give us an opportunity to play with different materials and cutting assist gases. But so far, I'm really impressed with this machine, and I'm super excited to finally have the last piece of my workshop puzzle here. I can't say too much right now, but you're going to see some big changes here on the channel very soon thanks to this machine. It's been a long wait. GWeike is currently running a Kickstarter campaign for the MCore, so if you're interested in backing it, then check out the links that I included in the description for this video. But that's it for this video, folks. Thanks for watching, and take care.